Hi, good morning. I hope that you are doing well in those crazy times. I would like to be with you today, but the time it's still making us working on the hybrid and the distance way. But I'm really looking that we meet face to face finally one day. Today I'm going to share with you approach of Grupa Żywiec and the Heineken to the leadership of the unknown future. We all face the same situations that it's really unpredictable, and even what is happening now. But if we are going to look back in the last 2 years, we are really creating the new reality. Why the new reality? Because we put ourselves and our businesses 2 years ago facing the COVID, which was the crisis on the health and on the business side. So all of us put a lot of effort to create the new reality. The new reality for our business was shaping or turning into new business models, but it was also putting us to new hybrid work. Hybrid work, I think this is one of the most common work now that is coming and sharing with us and what is impacting our day-to-day life. The next big trend is the Great Resignation, which is coming from US, when more than 19 million of the people decided to change their work from day by day. Why? Because we are living in the constant change, in the time when we on the one hand need to perform, but on the other hand, all the time transform and adopt. And the last few weeks put us in another very unpredictable situation. The war on the Ukraine that is happening now is also impacting the way how we act, how we think, how we live. So that's why I would like to share with you what we do, what is our approach to all of what is happening all around, because this is totally new world that we are facing. So all the things that we learned in the past about the leadership, about the employees, about the motivation, it's turning to the totally new world and new behaviors. Why it's happening? It's very natural because our brain is based on our experience. So if you see, we can work in the 4 different areas, and in the 4 different areas we can be more efficient, we like it more, or we do not like it. Of course, most of us like to work in the clarity. When we know the cause, we know the expectations, the outcome, the effect, and we follow our routines and the experience that we face in the past. Our brain like to follow the learnings, like to follow the experience that we gain and the capabilities. But the world is getting more and more complicating over the past years. Why? Because we have the new generation in the market, we have fast growth of the new technology that is changing our world. So it's going to complicate it. So it's meaning that not the cause, the reason that was a year, 2 weeks before, is creating the same effect. But what we know, we can have the expertise, we can use the different tools, we can ask the questions and build a new plan. But what we are facing now, it's more and more complex world. When really the experience from the yesterday, it's not bringing the same results for the future. This is world about the uncertainty, ambiguity, about the scenario thinking and the growth mindset. And this is where we are now. And I'm going to show you how it's impacting our work environments and what we are doing within the Grupa Żywiec and the Heineken to work in this complex world and be more friendly with ourselves, saying that we do not know, because there is more and more things that we cannot predict, but we can build a scenario and we can be all the time open-minded. What is the first thing that is really proving that's what is expecting from us is the constant learning. If you compare on the job portals, the same type of the role, the same name of the roles 3 years ago, more than 6% now of the skills are not the same. It's showing that even with the same scope of the roles, we are expecting to deliver the different outcomes. What is also confirmed that 29% of the capabilities that were present in those roles now do not exist. It doesn't mean that we are not expecting them from the employees, but we take them as the obvious, and we are looking for the almost 30% of the new skills. This is really what is crucial for us to go follow the new skills and to go follow the upskilling and reskilling trends. And what we did in our company over those 2 years, I think the COVID was bringing the great example what does it mean. Because if you look on the 3 different type of the business like we have, so brewery, sales team in the field and the office, it's meaning that we are working in a totally 3 different environment. And we were put during the COVID in the situation that part of those people had to work remotely. So we need to broaden the new skills, how to work remotely, how to manage the teams remotely, and how to manage yourself also remotely, not meeting the other people. What is other thing what is very important, this is how new technology is changing our life and how it's making our day-to-day job differently. What do we expect from the role? So this is more about the growth mindset, that we take all of this, what is happening all around, as a chance to learn. The new challenges we take as opportunities. And this is also what we train our people. What does it mean, the growth mindset? What is the difference between the growth mindset and the fixed mindset? And how you can put the effort into your organization to create the culture that is bringing the innovation, that is bringing the new ideas. And it's all the time upskilling. To use that, of course, we use the learning platform, we use the face-to-face training, but it's more and more what is important to have it in your culture discussion. What is critical for us in the HR? To start every year the review of the people, review of the people's strategy, to ask, do we have the right skills in our company? Because you see how many of those new roles we're creating over the last 3 years. Digital marketing, data science. So all of these roles are really impacting our work environment and making our company successful or not successful. So that's why it's important every year to check what the new critical capabilities, what the new skills we need in the company, and train our employees or bring that knowledge from the external world. This is, of course, the last 2 years impact our workplace. This is a buzzword about the hybrid workplace, which is telling that we are working in a different environment. So we should be efficient to deliver our job from anywhere where you should deliver. And of course, for some jobs, it's possible. For some jobs, like you are working in the production, it's not possible. So then it's even bigger challenge for the leadership in a company to manage those two worlds. Those people that still day to day have to go to their workplace. And for some of the others that we give much more flexibility. But what is really important, that 95% of the companies over the last year are talking or changing the working model. Still thinking how to be efficient and how to deliver the task. And I think in many cases, COVID proved that we can do it. We can work remotely, we can be efficient, we can build the trust within our employees, we can deliver the clear outcomes. But what is missing over that is the sense of the belonging. So that's why the roles of the leaders is very critical. And I think that last 2 years proved how crucial is the role of the leaders to keep the dialogue, to be close to the people, and to ensure that we are not any longer talking about the work-life balance or work integration, but now we are talking much more and more about the life integrations. So how to ensure that whatever we do in the job, after work, with our friends, with our families, is bringing us efficiency, is bringing us a fun, because we need to integrate those words mainly due to new technologies and a fast changing environment. What we do in the company to ensure that we follow that hybrid workplace. For the people working in the office, we set the very clear rules that we spend 3 days in the office, 2 days we can work from any place if you can deliver the duties. But we put also the special effort about the building the sense of belonging. With the routine of the monthly meeting, of the weekly meeting, of the one-to-one with the line manager, about giving the debrief of where we are with the results, and ensuring that during the one-to-one, you not talk only about the business review, but you also ask the question, how do you feel today? What is in your mind? And ensure also that this is the part of the conversation talking about your development. Because as we discussed, the big resignation trend is showing that during the moving into the hybrid, we are talking a lot about the efficiency, but we forget to talk about the belonging to the workplace. So that's very important. And that's, of course, what we are also doing, that we move from the annually engagement index to the quarterly pulse check. to ensure how people are feel. Do they understand the direction and the alignment with the strategy of the company? And do they feel engaged? And what can we do differently as a company to be in the constant dialogue and to deliver what should be delivered? And I think the current situation is also a great example how the companies are reacting to build these live integrations, because you know that we face the situation that more than 1.8 million people are coming from the Ukraine, and many our employees would like to help. So we also decided to give them 2 days for the charity. We are supporting refugees, and if they housing them, we give them the special allowance and extra day off. And this is also talking about these live integrations. From the employee perspective, you have to understand what is in the mind of the people to make them efficient, not only in the work, but also in their private life. So this is about the critical role of the leader. And we have the very clear model that is talking the role of the leader is to connect with your employee, to be very authentic, open, to deliver the results with your team, to shape the future, so understanding the trends on the market, and develop yourself and develop your people. It's a very clear model. And what is also critical, that 98% of our employees said that they agree that the role of the leader is critical. But when you ask the leaders, 25% of them, they said, okay, we are ready with the changing world and the changing expectations. So that's why we implement together with the Heineken, the program that is called Reframe. And this is the leadership development program that it's learning the new skills which are critical for the leaders in this changing environment. What is very important that we do that training together on the different levels. We start from the management team together with the lead teams, from all the people reporting to that, and we have 3 trainings during the year, plus 3 trainings for the management team. And then we cascade the expected behaviors down to the organizations, working in the pairs, HR business partner together with business leader. It's not only bringing the new skills, but it's again bringing the dialogue between the people to ensure that the things that we are doing together in the company are the right one, and we really understand what we should change. And it's also the way how we can recognize for the right behaviors and build the appreciating program. We have the program when every quarter employee can vote on each other and to recognize those colleagues that are good in that model. They are good on the connecting, delivering, shaping, and developing the people. And through that, we are building the role models of those people that are showing the behaviors into day-to-day activity. It's also building sense of belonging to the organization. So the role of the leaders over the last 2 years, I strongly believe that it's more and more important. But what is a key to define what do we expect from the leaders, and then deliver the right trainings. And those trainings those days are much more focusing not just only about the setting goals, about the emotional intelligence, about the coaching, but how to lead the team in the uncertainty. It's very uncomfortable for senior leaders to say, I do not know. But we are facing the times when we really do not know what can happen the next day, the next week, because the changes that are all around us are showing that we need to adapt. And to adapt and to make it much easier for our brain to adapt, we need to build a scenario. And then knowing which scenario is the most potentially possible, go for that. But being sure that that scenario will be not working and will be not efficient forever. So we need to adjust to the changing environment. What is also very visible in our life is the trend about the health. And as you know, we are not talking only about the physical health. So it's not about the companies offering the voucher for the gym or for the fitness, but it's more about the mental and the emotional health. So that's why we implemented 4 years ago the energy audit. When you are making the survey within your employee, that it's checking how is your physical energy. So how often do you do the sports, how well do you sleep, but how strong is your mental and how strong is your emotional energy. And based on the level, on those which are the weakest, Then we deliver the trainings for the individuals and for the team to ensure that we manage our employees and we build the awareness how important is the health. And if you look on the professional sport, it's there. Every professional sportsman, it's not just only having the trainer, the coach, but it's having also the mental coach and the physio coach. That's why, because you can be even the best in the world, but you need to still to develop, and need to develop not only in the kind of the hard skills, hard capabilities, doing very tough training every day, but develop your mental side and emotional side. Then if you have it together, then you can be successful, and you can be successful both on your private life and on your business life. So that's why health is more and more important in our not only private life, but this is how it's impacting the results in the business. And what I encourage you is to do it on the proper way. So as I mentioned, it's not just to give the voucher for the sport events or make the massage in the office, but really ask your questions. Where is your level of the health in organizations, and how you can bring it up? Because it's very important. It's even more important if you work in the hybrid environment and you work in the distance, because you do not see those people. You very often see them through screen, like we see each other today. So it's very important to ask your question, how do you feel? And have this dialogue with your employee. I think that during the COVID, during the video conferences, we have the big chances also to jump into the houses of our employees. And we see much more. We see the families, we see the kids. I faced many times the situation when I was waving and discussing with the kids of my employees. And it's great, because it's a big chance that our dialogue, it's not only about the numbers, not only about the results, but on the emotions and how we can build a sense of the belonging to the place where we are. And about the sense of the belonging, I think this is very crucial. That you say, I belong to the company or not. And I think it's much more about the diversity inclusion that we talk a lot. It's more about the equity. And I believe that you can build a diverse environment when you have the inclusiveness. So that's why the question is how we are good on the inclusive and diversity. And of course, we can make the survey like we do as well. But what we do also, we put the group of the 15 of the ambassadors that talking what does it mean for our company to be inclusive and diverse, where we have our strength, where we have our differences. And then it's coming that this is not just only discussion about the gender, but it's more how we can work based on using each other's strength, build on each other's diversity. And what is the really strategy for a company talking about the diversity inclusion? Where we should focus, what we should put as a kind of the key activities to be more inclusive, to be more diverse. And this is what we do, and this is what is really working, because it's not managing diversity inclusion again by numbers, by the dialogue, and through the group of the 15 ambassadors coming with the ideas and telling really what we can do to be more diverse, to be fair, to be transparent, and to ensure that direction and alignment that we have in the company is very clear. Because then, if we have the clear direction, if we build a sense of the belonging, so people feel pride of the place and of the things that they do together, then we can say that we be building the inclusive and the diverse environment and the culture when everybody can achieve the best. And this is, I believe, the key in the current days, to ensure that you build a high-performing teams when everybody would love to belong. Summarizing, so what are the biggest challenges and how we can tackle them? So complexity of today's words, and we face it, and we'll be facing that, because even the situation that it's now with the war, we do not know what will be the further impact. You can go through the internet, you can build many scenarios, but what is very important also that you focus your mindset not only on going through the news, through the internet, but ask the question, what does it mean for me? What does it mean for my business? What does it mean for my team? And build a scenario. Because if you build the scenarios, then it's much easier to follow with your brain to one of the scenario and be more certain, more sure, even for the short period of time, that you follow the plan, which is much easier for our brain to follow the plan, but not following to something that is uncertain every day. And check it. Check how your employees are feeling. Check it with the engagement. Do use the pulse check to make it more often, minimum once a quarter, to understand that is the direction, are the scenario clear for your employee, and how they feel. Talk about the skills. Talk about the critical capabilities and development plans. So if you do not ensure that you have the critical capabilities within your company and you are upskilling them all the time, and you have the right development plans for the people, that is very clear for them, what are the strengths, what development areas, and they see the path in your company, be sure that they will go. That's why, because in the uncertainty world, that it's much more openness to do the change, because uncertainty is everywhere. So please put a focus to ensure that you have the critical capabilities in place. You have the right development plans for individuals, but you also run the development opportunities across the company. With the many different development activities, we suggest 70-20 scheme. So 70 for the different projects on the job, 20 learning from others, which is mentoring, coaching, reverse mentoring that we have in the company, and 10% which are the trainings. Check your energy level, because this is building your sense of belonging. This is also building your efficiency, and ensure that you have the right leaders. So ask your questions. Do you have the leadership model that you can assess every leader in your company through the feedback 360, and based on the build right development plans? If you do not have the right leaders that keep the dialogue, that are shaping the future, developing the people, that delivering results, and building strong sense of the belonging, that's fundamental, that you cannot be successful in an uncertain and a changing world. And the last thing, if you are going to be diverse, inclusive company, ensure that you have the ambassadors, that you are not alone in building this inclusiveness and diversity, and you act fast, because we are living in the world that you need to act fast and adapt to the changing environment. I would like to finish with the Peter Drucker words, which I think is very adequate to current situation. The greatest danger in times of turbulence is not the turbulence, it's to act with the yesterday's logic. And this is very tough, but I hope that I show you examples how the world and how the work environment is changing, and how we need to really act with the today's and thinking about the future, setting the right scenario and changing the way how we act. So I would like to issue a lot of health and a lot of certainty, uncertainty, and being very comfortable with saying I do not know. Because saying I do not know, it's not comfortable, but it's giving us opportunity to constant learning. Thank you very much. Have a great conference, and I hope that we see each other face to face in the future.